Shri Shri Radha Krishna Govinda Shaman Radha Gopini Govinda Vrindavan Ki Jai Mathuranath Ki Jai Madhita Ki Jai Jagannath Purinath Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Hanuman Ki Jai तो गंगा की जय समेत भक्तवृंद की जय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि बोल all glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to Shri Shri Guru Gauranga all glories to His divine grace Veda Brahma Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jannava Gopi Javalava Giri Vadadani Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Giri Varadari Gopi Janavalabha Giri Varadari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vandachari Yamuna Tira Vandachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vandachari Yamuna Tira Vandachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajak Acharya Ashtatar Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajak Acharya Ashtatar Shata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Vimsa Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna, Gopa Gopinath, Shama Kund, Radha Kund, Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Mathura Dham Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Tulasi Devi Ki Jai, Yamuna Maya Ki Jai, Ganga Maya Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, verse 33. Na vartitavyam tad adharma bandho dharmena satyena cha vartitavye brahmavarte yatra yajanti yagyer yagyeshvaram yagya vitana vigyaha navartitavyam tadadharma bandho dharmena satyena cha vartitavye brahmavarte yatra yajanti yagyar
Yogeshwaram Yagya Vitana Vigya. There's no cord for the camera to plug into the computer. Navartitavyam tatadharma bandho. Dharmena satyena cha vartitavye. Brahmavartaya trayajanti yagyar. Yageshwaram yagya vitana vigya. Navartitavyam tadadharma bandho. Dharmena satyena cha vartitavye. Brahmavartaya trayajanti yagyar. Yogeshwaram yagya vitana vigya. Anyone on Zoom? Would the devotees in the temple room please chant? There's one there.
Navartitavyam tadadharma bandho.
Navartitavyam tadadharma bandho.
Dharmena satyena cha vartitavye.
Dharmena satyena cha vartitavye.
Vartataya trayajanti jagyar.
Brahmavartaya trayajanti yagyar.
Yogeshwaram jagya vitana jagya.
Yogeshwaram yagya vitana vigya.
Navartitavyam tadadharma bandho.
Navartitavyam tadadharma bandho.
Dharmena satyena cha vartitavye.
Dharmena satyena cha vartitavye.
Brahmavartaya trayajanti yagnar.
Brahmavartaya trayajanti yagyar.
Yageshwaram yagya vitana vigna.
Yogeshwaram yagya vitana vigya. Do you want this tripod? Dharmena satyena cha vartitavye. Brahmavartaya trayajanti yagyar. Yogeshwaram yagya vitana vigya. Navartitavyam tadadharma bandho. Dharmena satyena cha vartitavye. Brahmavartaya trayajanti yagyar. Yogeshwaram yagya vitana vigya. Anyone on Zoom?
There's no verse showing.
It's Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 33. Okay, translation, or word for word. Na, not. Vartitavyam, deserve to remain. Tat, therefore. Adharma, irreligiosity. Bandho, friend. Dharma, with religion. Satyena, with truth. Cha, also. Vartatavye, being situated in. Brahma avarte, place where sacrifice is performed. Yatra, where. Yajanti, duly perform. Yagyae, by sacrifices or devotional services. Yagya Ishvaram, unto the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. Yagya, sacrifice. Vitana, spreading. Vigya, experts. Translation. Therefore, O friend of religion, you do not deserve to remain in a place where experts perform sacrifices according to truth and religious principles for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. Yagyeshvara, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the beneficiary of all kinds of sacrificial ceremonies. Such sacrificial ceremonies as are prescribed differently in the scriptures for different ages. In other words, sacrifice means to accept the supremacy of the Lord and thereby perform acts by which the Lord may be satisfied in all respects. The atheists do not believe in the existence of God, and they do not perform any sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord. Any place or country where the supremacy of the Lord is accepted, and thus sacrifice is performed, is called Brahmavarta. There are different countries in different parts of the world, and each and every country may have different types of sacrifice to please the Supreme Lord. But the central point in pleasing Him is ascertained in the Bhagavatam, and it is truthfulness. The basic principle of religion is truthfulness, and the ultimate goal of all religions is to satisfy the Lord. In this age of Kali, the greatest common formula of sacrifice is the Sankirtan Yagya. That is the opinion of the experts who know how to propagate the process of Yagya. Lord Chaitanya preached this method of Yagya, and it is understood from this verse that the sacrificial method of Sankirtan Yagya may be performed anywhere and everywhere in order to drive away the personality of Kali and save human society from falling prey to the influence of the age. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jigatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Therefore, O friend of irreligion, you do not deserve to remain in a place where experts perform sacrifices according to truth and religious principles for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Maharaj Parikshit is a great devotee of the Lord, and within his kingdom there was no sinful or impious activities. So it's very surprising when he all of a sudden comes upon this person who's dressed as a ruler, but who is actually committing a great atrocity. He sees the personality of Kali beating these innocent animals who are unable to protect themselves, the bull and the cow, the cow is the personality of the earth. and the bull is the personified religion or dharma. And seeing the personality of Kali beating this bull, the bull only has one leg left. Its four legs represent the four pillars of religion: austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. And in this age of Kali, as the four ages, or the four yugas that the whole universe is working under, just like the seasons in this planet, the pillars of religion are decreased with each age. So things get more and more degraded. Just like anything in this material world, if you just leave it there for some time, like an apple, over time it slowly withers away. That's the effect of time. So in this Kali Yuga, which is the last of the four yugas, the only leg that the bull dharma or religion has left to stand on is truthfulness, and even that is barely there. So Maharaj Parikshit is seeing this atrocious activity of the personality of Kali, who is really a criminal but disguised as a king, like all of the rulers in the age of Kali. So he's telling him that he does not deserve to live in such a place where people are performing sacrifices for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So a sacrifice is anything that's done, something that somebody... Well, when I first hear the word sacrifice, I think if the first thing it reminds me of is these like Indiana Jones type of movies where you have some strange ritual going on, and maybe someone has to die. They like cut out the person's heart and to achieve some sort of unknown benefit, and there's like torchlight fires everywhere. Which that may be some sort of sacrifice, as we're seeing in this purport. There's different sacrifices in different countries. Srila Prabhupada was saying, where is it? But a sacrifice is anything that's where one is giving up something, like in order to get something. So we see that a sacrifice should be performed to please the Lord. And the central point of pleasing Him is truthfulness. But there's all sorts of sacrifices people are doing. Like the biggest one is that people are sacrificing their time and their attention to whatever someone puts their time and attention towards. Time is our most valuable thing, because even with all the money in the world, once it's time for us to leave this body, we can't buy back a single minute or even a single moment. Prabhupada gives this anecdote where there was some rich person on his deathbed begging the doctor, please, I'll give you all of my money, just give me a few more days or some short amount of time so I can finish my plans. But we have no possibility of buying back any amount of time. So this is a very valuable thing, and people sacrifice their time in so many ways. They do a sacrifice in spending Monday through Friday at some job or office or something like this in order to, maybe they do that sacrifice for their family, get a bunch of money and then maintain the family through that sacrifice. Or someone might do a sacrifice in school. They're doing their studies. They spend all their time and attention studying a textbook or studying a certain subject. But we're seeing the prime sacrifice for this day and age is the Sankirtan Yagya. So the Sankirtan Yagya means we go anywhere and everywhere and we give people the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The Sankirtan Yagya, it means the congregational chanting of the holy name. So we also come together and we chant Hare Krishna. In many festivals, and also every day. That's what these temples are for. Lord Chaitanya is personally here, and Lord Nityananda. So we all come together and we chant Hare Krishna for their pleasure, because they are none other than the Supreme Lord himself, Krishna and Balaram, in this appearing in this age of Kali to deliver the most fallen, as it's sung. What is it? Balarama hoilo nitai. Krishna and Balaram have appeared as Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya in this age of Kali. So the best way to please the Supreme Lord and the best sacrifice we can do with all of our time and all of our attention and our energy and intelligence is to spread this chanting of the holy names of the Lord. We see in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, which are recorded in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he went everywhere. He was going everywhere in West Bengal and delivering the holy name to everyone without cost. There was no bar for people to actually get the mercy. It's anyone and everyone they were distributing the holy name to. And Lord Nityananda, even he wanted to go after the most fallen people. So when they saw two very infamous criminals, Jagai and Madhai, who are doing all sinful activities all the time, that's their life, Lord Nityananda became even more enthused to go and give them the mercy and to give them the holy name. So we should also be like that in this Sankirtan Yagya. We should freely distribute the holy name of the Lord in this Krishna consciousness. And so Srila Prabhupada's books are non-different than the holy name. He said these are written kirtans. So this is the Sankirtan Yagya, the prime benediction for the age. We go out with the mridangas and we chant Hare Krishna, and everyone hears and becomes purified by the transcendental sound vibration. And then we go with the bigger mridanga, the Brihat mridanga, as Srila Prabhupada often called it, with the transcendental literature, these kirtans in the form of books. And we also distribute them freely, not freely as in people give some donation for the book, but freely as into anyone and everyone without any discrimination. Some places we don't want to go, that's there. It's not so trying to distribute books in a bar or some other places heavily affected by the mode of ignorance isn't very nice or good for our service. But we're giving them to everyone. There's no qualification, young, old, rich, poor, ugly, beautiful, fat, thin, intelligent, not intelligent. Anyone and everyone can get the mercy in the form of Srila Prabhupada's books and the chanting of the holy name. And we see that it has such a potent effect. So we are endeavoring day in and day out to spread this Krishna consciousness movement to please Lord Chaitanya, because Lord Chaitanya wants to see more people become devotees, and it also pleases those people because they get out of their suffering condition and become sane. It's the natural condition of the living entity to serve the supreme living entity, Krishna, and everything besides that is more or less insanity. So when we can give someone the holy name or Srila Prabhupada's books or engage in devotional service some way, they are becoming more sane and we are becoming more sane. Remembering who we are as an eternal servant of Krishna. So this is a very nice process. Whenever we hear devotees speak of their experiences with Sankirtan, there's always very great stories, and everyone seems very happy because it's joyfully performed, this Krishna consciousness. So those are a couple of points.
I can
see what's going on in the purport. In this age of Kali, the greatest common formula of sacrifice is the Sankirtan Yagya. That is the opinion of the experts who know how to propagate the process of Yagya. Lord Chaitanya preached this method of yajna, and it is understood from this verse that the sacrificial method of Sankirtan yajna may be performed anywhere and everywhere in order to drive away the personality of Kali and save human society from falling prey to the influence of the age. So this is a really nice point. The influence of the age, the personality of Kali, this Sankirtan movement is what can save is what will save the world in its darkest hour. So it's nice to also try to not only just give people the holy name. Oh, yes.
Yeah, more of just along the lines of what you're saying. That this age of Kali is so dark that there's simply no other process that can appeal to the mass of people but Sankirtan, chanting the holy names. There's no other common ground that we can agree on. But the beauty is that the holy name of the Lord is the common ground. When Prabhupada was visiting Tehran, and Tehran is an Arabic country, and so they were discussing whether people could be given the Maha Mantra. They can be given the Maha Mantra if they're interested to chant that, they can, or they can chant their own names. If they have their own names of God, that doesn't mean their own names. Everyone can make up names. It means that they have scriptural names, authorized names that are in their scripture for God. And I remember I was preaching in Arabic country also, and to the Druze. And the Druze they look like an Arabic or Muslim sect. They're not, they're separate, but they look the same. And they also have 99 names of God. So I was speaking with leaders of this religion, and they said, do you have any suggestions for us that you'd like us to do? And I said, yes, two things. One would be to give up the eating of meat and only offer vegetarian foods to God. Offer them before you eat. He doesn't accept that, so don't use that anymore. And the second point was, I said, I'd like you to chant the names of God. And I knew that they had beads, like we have beads. And I think there are 33, if I'm not mistaken, beads. And they chant 3 names on each bead of their 99 names of God. So I asked them if any of them knew the 99 names, and they started off, one of the priests, Sheikh, he had about 4 or 5 that he could remember. And after that they could. So, but one man said, inside I have a calendar, it has all 99 names. So I said, please go get that. So he came back. I said, now let's chant the 99 names. So you chant them first, and then we'll all chant. So we went through the 99 names of God in Arabic. And I said, so I'd like you to all chant every day at least 16 times around on your beads these 99 names of God. And then that'll be a wonderful thing. And they were happy about that. I don't know if they did it, but they were happy, and they could agree with that, because we're not saying it has to be these names. It can be, if you have names for God, authorized names, then you can chant that, and that will bring about a spiritual renaissance in the whole world. We can all work together. That there won't be all these warring factors and factions and hatred for one. Religion has such a bad name now. People are just giving up religion wholesale. They're so disgusted with it for not solving the problems, for not giving them clues to things they need to know. Religion has everything. Real religion, Dharmam to Sakshat Bhagavad Pranitam, given by God, it has all the scientific information that anyone needs. It has all the solutions to man's social problems, economic problems, everything. All problems are solved by true Dharma and religion. But because people have lost faith in so-called Dharmas that are being presented now, it's a very chaotic situation. And really there's only one way to solve it, and that is by chanting the holy names of the Lord. So if they won't chant, they can hear the chanting. If they're too shy to chant themselves, by hearing they'll also become purified. And it can be done anywhere. Chanting has been done in bars, many bars. Practically everywhere is a bar these days, because people are taking intoxication everywhere. The concerts are bars. So, or the bar itself, it doesn't matter. The chanting is so pure that it can be done and it will purify that place and make that place a sacred place. Even if it's a horrible place where all kinds of sinful things take place, it will become purified. And an example of this is Haridas Thakur. He was chanting in a very nice place, but then a prostitute came, tried to pollute him, so it became a horrible place. She was trying to use her best influence to get him to give up his regulative spiritual principles. So he just stayed there and chanted it. And by hearing, she was hearing the chanting, she became gradually purified, and she confessed her intentions, and she became a Vaishnava. So there's nobody that's too sinful to chant, and there's nobody who's too pious to chant. It's for everyone. And if they can't chant, they can hear. And in this way, the whole place, the whole planet, the whole universe will become purified. It's not restricted just to a particular country or a particular group. It's for everyone. And it's not sectarian, because whether they chant Krishna's name, or as we say in the Arabic language, 99 names of God, they'll become purified. Whichever names they have the most faith in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maharaj. Haribo! So, when the age of Kali is so dark and distressful, and the chanting of Krishna's names is so purifying, how foolish would someone have to be to give up this chanting? We see it's the most important process, so it's important that we try put all of our energy into chanting the holy name of the Lord, to try our utmost sincerest to take shelter of the holy name, as we're given an opportunity to do that every day. I remember hearing Maharaj at one time made a brief comment about how there's some people go to many different like japa retreats and things, like a workshop retreat for working on your japa, and he mentioned how we have that every morning. So when there's so many bad qualities in the age of Kali, and this chanting of the holy name is so purifying, who would want to give up that opportunity? So we should actually put our most energy, effort, thoughts, planning, and attention into our sadhana, chanting the holy name of the Lord. And then we'll be able to cross over this age of Kali very easily and help others do that too. Are there any comments or questions on this verse? Yes.
Thank you for class, Prabhu.
Thank you.
At my dad's house, there was a family tragedy, and the energy was really heavy and negative. And I was serving in St. Louis, and I came to see my dad and console him. And I went through chanting Hare Krishna over and over and over again. And when he came back, he said the atmosphere had changed. It was more positive. That's Jai for chanting Hare Krishna.
Right. Thank you, Prabhu. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
There's some nectars in the van.
In the van, we have many groceries that will need to be taken inside now. And then we will begin the Sunday feast, Yagya. Haribol.